Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how each movie did. So let's get started. Number 5 was Reminders of Him, making $2.2 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $45 million and a worldwide total of $79 million. So Reminders of Him continues holding modestly well. Again, I just think I had really high expectations for this movie considering how strongly Regretting You did last fall. I thought this would be no different, but it's just been modestly holding well. It's not doing what that movie did where it just stuck around for so long. It's just been, staggering its legs for the past couple weeks. And again, it's not like it's doing bad or horrible or anything, just the expectations considering the last two Colleen Hoover movies. Again, still though, this is doing very, very well for itself. Again, with a $25 million budget, it should pretty much be about the same where Regretting You was last year, but again, this movie opened higher and had a much more positive response. I thought it would do slightly better, but still though, again, not much to complain about here. It still made a hefty sum of cash for itself, and I doubt anyone is really upset over how it's done. Yeah, a nice modest little hit for the studio, certainly a nice win for Colleen Hoover. Obviously she needs more money, and still a really solid performance for the film. Just not much more else to really say here. Number 4 was Hoppers, making $5.8 million this weekend, bringing its domestic total to $149 million and its worldwide total to $332 million. So as expected, Hoppers took a hit, just considering the competition this weekend, but it could have been a lot worse, I suppose. It fell 52%. Again, considering the competition, it could have been a lot more drastic. I think probably the biggest reason to why this movie held quote unquote as well as it did this weekend was because it provided families another option. I feel there was a lot of situations where families wanted to see the new big animated movie, but it was sold out or too full, so they had to make do with seeing Hoppers again. And also, the movie's been really good, and again, just the word of mouth has really helped it out a lot. Because of that, it's definitely going to surpass the domestic totals of Cars 3 and Elemental, and I think it should have enough juice in the tank to get past A Bug's Life's domestic run. Worldwide, it is pretty much on the verge of surpassing The Good Dinosaur, and in terms of milestones, definitely going to surpass 150 million, 160 million domestically as well, and worldwide it should definitely get past $350 million milestone. I think it's going to tap out at 400 million globally. I just don't think it has that pull that Elemental did, unfortunately. But still though, considering that this was much cheaper than Elemental, it should still be in the sweet spot for itself. Again, still doing really well, especially for an original animated film, and in the wake of The Threat that came out this weekend, it still held pretty as well as it could have. Again, like I said already, it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, Hoppers, despite competing with the big new animated movie this weekend, still holding well, still holding not strong, but it put up a good fight this weekend, and I think it'll be able to stabilize after that. Still putting up some strong numbers. Number 3 was The Drama, opening with $14 million this weekend domestically and $26 million worldwide. This is the third biggest opening for A24. It topped Hereditary and The Materialists, but still sits behind Marty Supreme and Civil War. I didn't really talk about this movie last weekend. The other big movie was just the hot ticket item, so that was, a lot more to discuss in terms of that movie's opening. Plus, given the subject matter of this movie, I wasn't sure if a lot of people were going to turn out to see this movie, but turn out they did, as this really surpassed a lot of people's expectations. Again, I think, the subject matter, how dark the movie dives into these themes, these topics, I feel like that was going to hold back the movie's opening for a lot of people, but in fact, I think that really spurred a lot more curiosity with folks, as the buzz was pretty strong with this movie. Clearly the interest was to see what the big reveal or secret of Zendaya's character was, and I think A24 really sold and marketed the movie well. They certainly promoted it a lot more than a lot of their other recent movies, and again, it caught people's attention, and because of that, it delivered one of their strongest openings to date, and a pretty successful opening, as a matter of fact, as the movie was only $28 million to make. It's made $26 million worldwide already, and people seem to be enjoying it. Critics are liking it alright enough. It's at a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences feel a bit similar. It's at a B on CinemaScore, and again, given the plot of the movie, given the themes and topics it discusses, that's a blessing, I assume. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about this movie. It's certainly going to be quite controversial, and I think we're going to, as a result, see this movie leg out, definitely capture some people's attention and cause it to be a nice little hit for A24, which, given the rest of the month, not that there's isn't any other big movies, but I think the month is in need of like some, nice little surprises here and there, and I think this could definitely be one of them. So yeah, a strong start for the drama. Number 2 was Project Hail Mary, making $31 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $218 million and a worldwide total of $421 million. So despite the competition affecting this movie in particular, I mean, they're both about characters going into space, this movie still wasn't largely affected. It got hurt a bit, fell 41%, but still, considering, the big movie this weekend, I assume a lot of people were assuming it would get hurt a lot more. This is just a word of mouth phenomenon. People just can't get enough of this movie. It is really just delivered on all aspects as a 4-quadrant blockbuster. It pretty much is the blockbuster to see right now, besides the other one, but we'll get to that shortly. But yeah, this is more than just a surprise or an unexpected gem. Again, this is really delivering on like blockbuster level numbers. It's definitely going to crack 300 million domestically, and $600 million is at play here. And this is a movie that does have like a blockbuster budget, $200 million around that area to be exact, and it hasn't like shown any signs of that really like hurting its chances. Again, worldwide, it's already doubled that budget, and it's on its way to cracking 500 million globally very soon as well. And again, it had to go up against a pretty big movie this weekend, and people still wanted to go and check this out. Again, just a really impressive run for this movie. It shows no signs of stopping. It has certainly become a phenomenon that nobody was really expecting, even people who thought it would do like strong numbers. I assume a lot of people were expecting this is where it would tap out, best case scenario, but look where we are. It's at the third weekend and it's already here. Yeah, just an absolutely phenomenal run. And again, we're only like 3 weeks into this movie's run, so we're only gonna go up from here, folks. Again, no signs of slowing down, no signs of stopping. This is just absolutely crushed a lot of box office expectations. And finally, let's end the video off with the number 1 movie of the weekend, which was the Super Mario Galaxy movie, opening with $131 million this weekend, and since it opened on Wednesday, it adds to a domestic total of $190 million domestically and $372 million worldwide. Of course, this is the biggest opening for a family and animated film this year. It topped Hoppers, Goat, and the Pout Pout Fish. It is the biggest opening of the year overall, topping Project Hail Mary, Scream 7, Hoppers, and Wuthering Heights. It's the third biggest opening for a film based off of a video game, topping Five Nights at Freddy's and Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but sitting behind the Super Mario Bros. Movie and a Minecraft movie. It's Illumination's second biggest opening ever, topping Minions, The Rise of Gru, and The Secret Life of Pets, but still sitting behind the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It is the 7th biggest opening for an animated film domestically ever, topping Frozen 2, Shrek the Third, and Toy Story 4, but still sits behind again Super Mario Bros., but also Finding Dory, Moana 2, Inside Out 2, Incredibles 2, and the 2019 Lion King. And it's the 5th biggest global opening for an animated film ever, once again knocking Frozen 2 out of the top 5, but still sits behind Super Mario Bros., Moana 2, Zootopia 2, and Nudge 2. I don't think anyone is really surprised that this movie delivered to the extent that it did. I mean, you saw how much the first one did, and look what this movie had to offer. The fact that it was adapting Super Mario Galaxy, one of the most beloved video game movies ever, and the roster of characters it was including in this movie. I mean, come on, folks. Add on to the fact that the marketing was really solid, and it's the first big kids movie in a while. Again, the marketing was absolutely stunning. So much promo, so much hype. The buzz was through the roof. Lots of people excited to see what they could do for a sequel to that first movie. And again, just seeing these beloved characters on the big screen got a lot of people hyped up. And again, it really delivered. Lots of people went out to see it this weekend. Lots of families, lots of Mario fans. And it's already off to a fantastic start, as the budget was still kept under control despite this being Illumination's most expensive movie to date at just $110 million. This is just $10 million more expensive than Despicable Me 4 and the first Super Mario Brothers movie. So again, they know how to keep their budgets under control, and it's already tripled that at this point. It won't surprise me if we see this surpassing 500 million globally, probably next week, or at least a couple days after that. It's certainly going to crack 200 million by tomorrow, and certainly 300 million by the end of this week as well. That's all good, said and done. It had a fantastic start with its opening. I am a bit concerned about its legs because the movie did open a bit lower than the first one, and I think that is because of the reception the movie has. Obviously, I think we all know how critics feel about this movie. They do not like it. It's at a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, but audiences also don't seem to be as enthusiastic about this movie as they were with the first one. This got an A- on CinemaScore, which is not only under other kids' movies like Hoppers and Goat this year, but also under what the Super Mario Brothers movie got, which was the A CinemaScore. So that is going to be something interesting to see here. I'm not sure if it's going to have the strong legs that we saw with the first one because of that. So it'll be interesting to see how these two movies compare, given the response to both movies, which ones they prefer, and if this really does affect this movie. But again, you see how big this movie has done, and there's not going to be another kids movie until The Sheep Detectives in May, so I doubt it's going to affect it that much. This is still probably going to make $1 billion at the end of the day. So yeah, still a fantastic start for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and the road still looks really strong ahead. And those were your top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, and normally this would be the part of the video where I discuss the upcoming new wide releases and seeing where they would land in the top 5, but as far as the new movies go, I think it's going to be a calmer weekend. The real story of that this weekend is just going to be how the holdovers are holding. I know You, Me, and Tuscany comes out this weekend, and I'm sure that's going to shake up the top 5, but I'm not expecting strong numbers for it. I haven't seen too much of a marketing push for it, and the buzz seems to be low, at least from what I'm seeing. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this is another drama situation where it does overperform, but I'm just not expecting the biggest debut for it. But we'll see how well that movie does, as well as the rest of the movies that land in the top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied, unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.